Awesome. And then are you able to see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So once again, we're going to be going over the daily candlestick analysis and just pretty much how to read bar by bar and how we can go ahead and catch breakouts and reversals. So the first thing we'll go ahead and do once again is we'll turn on our indicators at the top, and you can go ahead and turn on the pivot point high and low and the swing levels and liquidity, as well as the tape too by Luck F. And I'll keep these on the screen here. And yeah, so these are all very effective, and they're just pretty much volume indicators. I'm not a big advocate for EMAs or VWAP or any like that because most of those indicators are actually just kind of candle guidance, and it's just more noise on your screen than it needs to be, because everything just reacts off of previous candlesticks. Like, if I can show you like in depth here, like we see that these two candles here have an equal high, and then we ended up getting some
Hmm.
shorting from here. So that's how candlesticks work. So we know that once this candlestick breaks, then we'll get another push up like that because these three candlesticks align perfectly like this. So we should know we should get a breakout eventually into these next set of candlesticks up here like this, if this makes sense. Because now these two candlesticks make sense. Because candles can either only go one way or the other, can either break up or down. So, and in this case, if we were going to play this breakout setup, then we know that once these three daily candles with congruent price, once this action were to break, we should be able to go ahead and get in for a breakout into the next daily candle up here. And you can also see it a lot cleaner on your smaller time frames as well too. So you'll be able to see here, especially using the volume indicators. This is just me drawing it off of the daily candlesticks. I haven't even scaled down to my smaller time frames, and as you can see, the swing points and liquidity by Leviathan, the circles in the volume are pretty much exactly where I put my lines. And that's just because I'm at the point now where I'm able to eyeball it, and that's why I want you guys to get to the point where you're able to do that as well. Because it just makes it a lot easier. But especially when you scale down to your smaller time frames, you're like, oh, okay, I see why the breakout makes sense here. So I hope this does make sense. And you can ask me any questions as well if I'm going too fast.
Okay.
So once again, we got this structure from the daily candles here, from these three congruent daily candles. So we know that once price decides to break out this area where price decides to fall back from 4 different days or 3 different days. So we know when price breaks this high, we should get at least another, we should get a push up until this next high up here.
Is that the chart? Is that YM that we're waiting on, or is that a different
So
chart?
this is NQ. I can actually pull up the YM as well if that's fine. Yep, no problem. I'll pull up the because I have my own chart, so I'll pull up the US 30, but it's the same thing as YM. So I'll pull up YM as well. So I'll start off by marking out the daily highs. Boom. Or I'll specifically do the YM actually. Boom. Okay. And I'll delete everything here. Okay. So we'll start off with the all-time highs here, and then boom. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe I haven't looked at YM, but yep. So it looks like we're going to be breaking out from all-time highs here pretty soon. Um, so yeah, this is very easy. Obviously, we shorted from this because we hit all-time highs, and this I hope this makes sense and is very clear here. Structure was created over here on the 18th of July, and then price decided to fall back down. Price hit the same area over here today, and price decided to fall back down. So once again, candle by candlestick analysis, as you can see, this is where all the volume is, 205,000 orders. And you're able to see that by this using the swing points and liquidity by Leviathan indicator here. So price is going to go ahead and short because of this is where the last bit of heavy volume was before price decided to fall back down. So we know that once price decides to break this key area, then we'll be able to go ahead and get in for a long setup here.
Okay.
Okay. So that's going to be that right there. And let me just close my door here one moment. Okay, awesome, awesome. So yeah, so that's gonna be that. So candlesticks are pretty much just gonna react off of old candlesticks, and we're pretty much just finding out where the candlesticks with the most volume is at, so that we can go ahead and play either a breakout or play reversals off of that. So that's all that we're doing. So from here, so the next trade that we're going to be waiting for is the breakout of this all-time highs. Or we can go ahead and get on the daily and look for a congruent low that makes sense. See where price last bounced up, and then we could go ahead and take a setup from there. So we do have a setup which looks like right here. So if I draw a line right here, so I'm going to go ahead and see three candles here. So I have a low right here. I have resistance being created right here, and I have some resistance being created over here before price decided to break above it, which lets me know that, okay, so where this green line is, this is probably a probable area here. So I'm going to scale down to my smaller time frames. I'm going to see some good resistance here. So boom, 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 boom. This is multiple days worth of price action. Open candle, fell down, and then price decided to finally break above it once it got above here. And then same thing with price over here as well. Decided to make some resistance and fall down. And price decided to break out and then create support on the resistance from this area and this area. And I hope this makes sense here. So resistance is right here because price is falling down from this area, right? But then over here, support. Support is right here where these two candles are. Boom, 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 where they bounce off of the green line. So resistance from over here and over here. So the resistance candles from here, and it's a lot easier to see it on the daily as well. The resistance candles from here, here, right here, and then this support candle here is going to give us evidence that this is the key level. So price is probably going to bounce from this area again. Because once again, we have some key resistance here, and then we do have some support over here from July. So price has a high probability to probably bounce from this area here. So, and once again, we detected that from the daily. So now you could do one of two things. You could either wait for price to come right here and then take the daily bounce, or you could wait for price to decide to bounce here, just like it did right here with this candle, and then go ahead and take a breakout setup after price creates its own structure. So the more patient you are, the more probable you're gonna be. So yeah, that's one thing about trading. So like just like here, for example, instead of taking a reversal at all-time highs, you wait for the reversal to be true, and then once the reversal is true and all the liquidity is grabbed, you know that once all-time highs finally gets broken, you're gonna be able to easily get in. So you have one of two ways to trade. Honestly, you could either be a little bit more patient, or you could be a little bit more risky and just take reversal setups that you feel confident in. This is shorting off of all-time highs, so I would feel confident in this. Same thing with possibly taking a setup off of here, off of this resistance here. So yeah, that's just me personally with that. But once again, when you do that, instead of take breakouts, it's a lot easier to get faked out. The reason why I do recommend breakout trading and breakout scalping is because you're going to be able to use this tool here. This is called tape. So this tool called tape over here, market is not currently open right now, so I can't show you, but actually, yeah, I can. Let me show you on crypto. Let me see. There we go. So this over here, pretty much this where you see this volume over here, it's gonna go ahead and it's
Yeah.
gonna be moving really fast certain times. So if I go ahead and go back to the YM, so you know that when price decides to finally break above this, you're just gonna see a whole bunch of green going on here. That's gonna be the amount of orders that's coming in. So green means buying on the tape, and then red equals selling. So you're going to be seeing two numbers once again, and it's going to be to like the right over here, and then it's going to be just pretty much moving really fast, and you're going to be able to see the contract size amount, so the amount of contracts that's being bought at the current price, and you're going to be able to see all the orders coming in. So pretty much when you use that in conjunction with like a breakout setup, for example, you're going to be able to go ahead and it is going to kind of look like this, for example, here, or it's going to look like this. And you're going to see the orders coming in here. So pretty much when an area comes to a high area of resistance, for example. So once again, this would be resistance because price is falling down from an area here. So this would be resistance. So if price decides to break above it, you're going to go ahead and see. You see how there's green boxes here.
Mhm.
You're gonna go ahead and see a bunch of green come in, and then you see the size. That's gonna be the amount of contracts that they have in, whether it be options, crypto, or pips or whatever. You're gonna be able to see on the tape. So yeah, so it's extremely powerful, especially when it comes to breakout setups because you're gonna be able to pretty much confirm whether or not the breakout's going to happen. If you see a bunch of buying coming in near the area, you're going to probably be able to confidently get in. Because the point of trading is that people don't really realize like trading is PvP. So, and PvP means player versus player. So, so when we're winning, someone is losing money. But when we're losing money, someone is winning money. So it's not just coming out of thin air. So it's really important to do what everyone else is doing. Like in trading, that's really the bread and butter of it. And the people with millions of dollars, the people with hundreds of thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of contracts playing with size, we want to be making sure that we're playing with them. Where this volume is, that's where we want to be making sure that we're playing off of. We want to be on our higher time frames and playing where the volume is. And it's a lot easier to identify when you're able to read candlestick by candlestick too. So we're going to go through another example as well, and we're just going to keep identifying setups. And you're just going to be able to just take it one setup at a time. So right here, your next trade would be okay. So I'm waiting for either a breakout of the highs here, or if I want to play a reversal, I could go ahead and I could draw a zone down here and I could go ahead and wait for a reversal right here and see if price gives me a reversal from here, and that would be really timed. So I could go ahead and I could set an alerts down here, do every time, and click on create, and you could send email notifications and stuff as well. And I would do the same thing for this setup here, and I would just go ahead and wait. So price already gave me a rejection off of previous daily candle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for price to break above it and then I'm going to be able to go ahead and get in with everyone else. The tape is going to be fully green and going crazy, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and get in for a profitable trade instead of trying to figure out where to buy in front of all of here.
Mhm.
So that's really why I do recommend trading pretty much like just waiting for price to make its own structure, if that makes sense. Because once price makes that structure, then it's a lot easier to go back and be like, okay, price is probably going to do X, Y, and Z. So I'll pull up another example
And
here.
that's
Oh,
the
go ahead.
breakout scalping strategy.
Yes. So yeah, so this works on pretty much like so it's a lot easier to do it on the daily time frame because you're gonna be able to get confirmed entries, and pretty much like where price is gonna like confirm itself at. So you want to just like so just because we're scalpers, we still want to be making sure we are trading off of higher time frames because where a lot of people end up losing money is when they try to end up trading in this. Something like this, for
Right.
example, where price is just chopping up and down. These aren't key levels at all, and this is 3 days. This is 3 days of this type of price action. This is some people have definitely blown their account within from this Sunday to this Wednesday. People definitely blew up their account trying to trade this because they're just being impatient. And another thing too, you can identify too. So you can also do it day by day too. So we see that this candlestick here. So we see that we have a rejection off of this candle here where the volume came in. So then we know that once price were to go ahead and break above it, then you could go ahead and get in for another a breakout above it there, and then your next take profit would be all-time highs. So that is pretty much I call it momentum scalping, and you're playing with how price is moving. So I'm going to show you another clear example of that. I'm going to open the Bitcoin chart, for example. So yeah, I always have zones drawn because I just pretty much just do this like homework nonstop. You can also scalp on the daily candle too. I mean, on the weekly as well. It's pretty much whatever you prefer. So I like to go ahead and start off. I like to just draw a line at the top of all-time highs from what I see. So yeah, so I see that's all-time highs. Boom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I just identify certain things. So you could turn on the swing points and liquidity indicator if you want. You can go to your 4 hour or use your daily. Um, but for me, I'm at the point now where once again you're gonna be at the point too, inshallah, where you're gonna be able to just eyeball. So you can see right here that price decided to fall down off of this structure right here. And we have 2 daily candles and 3 daily candles pretty much in one area that makes sense before price fell down. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line here. And then I'm going to go ahead and see if anything else makes sense. So, boom. So I see that price decided to fall down there. And then I'm going to go ahead and be able to identify the next low that I see as well that makes sense too. So let me go ahead and see. It's probably going to be this candle here because this is where price decided to last bounce at. So the Bitcoin chart has a lot more candlesticks, but still, if you're able to just eyeball it on any chart, it just makes it a lot easier. So once again, on the 4 hour here, and you could use your swing points and liquidity indicator to really help you out. So this is Bitcoin, for example, right? So boom, we just went and identified that. So this is how you could scalp, and it's extremely, extremely easy. So as you can see, price decided to fall down here, and price decided to bounce from this area here. So price had this very aggressive wick down, bounced and bounced from this point here, bounced from this point here. So we know that this zone is valid. So we know that this zone of buying is valid down here. So now that we know that once price decides to go ahead and break out from this low, we should be able to easily get in for a breakout and go ahead and take profit down here. And I hope this makes sense. Because once again, price decided to bounce from 3 areas. It bounced here, it bounced here, and then price bounced again over here. So that's 3 key areas with billions of orders here. So we know that when price decides to go ahead and break out, boom, we can go ahead and break out, and then our final take profit would be down here. Or you could take profit here at this candlestick or this candlestick if you want, and boom, it's just going to be a lot easier for you to just eyeball. So once again, using the swing points and liquidity and pivots high and low indicator, it'll help you go ahead and eyeball where there's high amounts of volume, so then you can really only trade high probability setups. As you can see, price decided to come to this congruent high over here 2 separate days. So on this Friday, boom, and then price fell down, and then price came over here on a Sunday, and then price fell down again. Okay, so this is a very key area here. So we know that when price decides to break out, we're just going to go ahead and get in for a breakout easily. So it's all about just where we're going to take profit at, and then you could just go ahead and scale down to your higher time frames, and you can eyeball wherever you want to take profit. So I see a double top being created over here on the 4 hour, and you could take profit like right here if you wanted, or you can make it shorter and take profit like right here. The thing about breakouts is you definitely don't want to overstay, so it's definitely really important to identify where you want to take profit. I see a order block over here. So for 37 billion orders over here before price fell down. So that's a pretty confident area that I'm gonna go ahead and take profit here. So yeah, so if price decides to break out here, we should have a take profit to at least here before price decides to fall back down. So that is pretty
Is
much.
the
Oh, go
one
ahead.
to three risk to reward ratio still good
Yes.
on the breakout scalping strategy?
Yes, 100%. So yeah, we can go ahead and measure this out right now. Boom, and this would be a 1 to 3, and this is a pretty big stop loss, honestly. If price decides to wick like all the way back here, you'll probably lose anyways. The thing about breakouts that are so awesome is that you hit take profit so fast, and that's just what's
Hmm.
awesome about it. And as you can see, so even when you just identify just certain setups like this setup here, where price decided to fall back down, um, where price broke out, you hit take profit in like 2 4 hour candles right here. This is just a random example, but as you can see, the you see how long the like the candles are. This is usually
Yeah.
what happens when there's breakouts, and it's a lot better on your psychology because you don't have to sit there in a long trade. You don't have to sit there just draw down and just really struggling and just fighting mentally, waiting days for a swing trade, or you might get reversed on because of company news. You're pretty much just in and out. You're gonna be hitting take profit in less
Hmm.
than like 2 hours, like every time. Um, yeah, so that's gonna be that. So, and I really actually have some cool things to show you too. There's this thing called knockouts. Um, so knockouts are, it's kind of like futures and options in one. And you're able to go ahead and place orders, and from there you can kind of just go ahead and That's good. Let me see here. Let me see if I can show you right now while market is closed. But it's very, 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 very cool. But still, either this, I definitely recommend knockouts or futures for sure. Um, so the market's currently closed, but let me go ahead and just show you here, for example. So this is knockouts, pretty much here. So it would just show you that, so pretty much your take profit and stop loss would already have be placed, right? And I'll show you how
Mhm.
to open up an account and everything too, if you get, cause so yeah, so I know about the Webull stuff. So yeah, you pretty much and playing this on breakouts, you're gonna be able to run out money quick, really, 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 really quick. You're gonna be able to go ahead and click here, and you're gonna be able to go ahead and see the amount of money you're gonna lose if you hit your stop loss, and the amount of money you're gonna win if you hit your take profit. And as you can see, they do have expiration dates as well. So some of these you can have for like 3 days, but we're breakout scalping, so you're not going to be holding it for that long. So certain ones, it's different as well. Um, you're going to be able to choose between the ES, that's US 500, Wall Street 30 is going to be YM. You could trade forex, you could trade gold as well. It's actually very, very, very cool. So yeah, the forex, it doesn't even require much money at all. So you could really start an account with like $50, $100, and really just start turning up from here. Like, and you can start clearing like 50 plus $100 a day. Start doing that for a week. Boom, boom, hit 1,000. Boom, boom, boom. You can flip 1,000 to 10,000 very, very, very fast. It can all happen very, 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 very fast. There have been people who've become millionaires extremely fast. Um, because of just staying persistent and really just locking in small gains and just taking their account day by day. So yeah, I think this would honestly be awesome for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and get you set up at the end of the call to show you where you can sign up for stuff for this too.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
here. Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's called Nadex. So yeah, it's very cool. It's called Knockouts. It's super cool. It's just like futures. And once again, the your take profit and stop loss. So let's say you hit the blue. Let's say you wanted to buy, right? So your take profit
Mhm.
would be up here, and then it would set your stop loss down here. And then you could buy different contracts to where, like, say your stop loss would be down here, but then your take profit would be up here. And then, so yeah, but yeah, you could buy pretty much any contract you want. So, and it sets up your stop loss pretty nice. Because if you hit your stop loss right here, and you don't even have to think. You could literally just catch your breakouts and stuff like that. It's actually really nice. And it shows you the amount of money you're gonna lose before you get in. You don't have to like you could just worry about timing your setups. And I really this is very underrated, and I don't know why a lot of people don't know about this yet. This is very cool. But yeah, okay. So yeah, that's gonna be that. So yeah, let's go ahead and go over another example. You can ask me any questions as well if I'm going too quick.
Okay, no, it's fine. I think you pretty much answered the question that I had.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and let me pull some forex, whatever. The thing about forex though is it has so much old price action, which I'm not a big fan of. I like to trade the indices because it has modern price action to where it's not really. I'm trying to show you what I mean here. Pretty much like everything is usually at all-time highs. And it's just new price action, so it's really easy to go ahead and just farm setups. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's identify another setup here. So this is going to be the ES chart here, but it just says the SPX right now. Um, so boom. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a zone at all-time highs here. I'm going to go ahead and just identify some certain things. So I see price decided to fall down from this key area right here. I think this chart's a little different than the futures chart because it's kind of skipping days, I believe. Hmm. Yeah, so try to stay on the futures chart if possible. I'll mess up my charts for you so far. Because it's a lot cleaner, as you can see here. There's no weird gaps or anything like that. So being on the
Right.
futures chart is a lot more ideal. So that's another thing that could really mess a lot of people up. So yeah, the futures charts are definitely the most accurate charts. Because as you can see, like you see how it's shorting like perfectly here from the zone I have drawn, and then I
Uh
pull
huh.
up SPX, which is pretty much supposed to be the same thing, and it's like it's a little bit different and it's a little bit off. So, and it's
Yeah.
kind of harder to tell. So, yeah. the ES chart is definitely the ES, YM, and the NQ charts on the futures are definitely the easiest to read for sure. Um, but yeah, so pretty much this was easy for me to tell this short of this market here. We had resistance on this candle here, had some support from this candle over here, and then guess what? Price just easily decided to keep falling over and over and over and over again from here, creating a key area. And price has been falling from here for 5 days in a row. And I called this out days ago in my Discord. Um, yeah, I called this out last Thursday, and price just keeps falling from here
Oh
over and
yeah, I
over.
need to do the I need to join the signals
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah. The signals are definitely awesome for sure. But yeah, so yeah, you could just pretty much just keep identifying setups like this. Just stay on the daily. The daily just makes it a lot easier to read. So boom, resistance. The daily is a really hard cheat code. So resistance, boom, boom, resistance, resistance, resistance. So we know that when price decides to break up from here, we should, and then you can get on your 4 hour, look at the swing points and liquidity indicator, see the volume, and then you should be able to go ahead and get a breakout into the next high. Or you could stop it early and just play for any risk reward that you want. And then yeah, you could just go ahead and get in for your breakout as soon as price decides to break out from this high. Where price decides to keep falling from over here. So all price does is fall
Mhm.
down, fall down, fall down, fall down. So when price finally breaks above it, we're gonna be able to go ahead and get in easily. And price made some resistance over here, fell down. So when price breaks over this green line, boom, you could just go ahead and get in for a breakout, and set take profit pretty much anywhere you want, or you could take profits in kind of chunks. So yeah, you could take off like half of your size, maybe right here, and have your final take profit up here, or you could trim here, and trim up here, and do it like that. Especially on knockout options, you're gonna be able to swing trade too. So yeah, it's very cool.
What's the you said I could start with like 50 or 100 bucks
Yeah,
on knockouts?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, knockouts are super duper cheap, especially if you play forex and stuff like that too. It is cheaper. Indices I might recommend like $200 around there.
Okay.
But yeah, but forex, yeah, you could definitely trade with like $50, $100 for sure. 100%.
Okay. And once the all-time high is broken, like this trade we're waiting on,
Yeah.
when I go back and
YM.
like when I'm waiting on the next trade and I'm going to mark up the chart,
Mm.
I start from that new high that is created, right?
Yeah, so from here, if you like see from here, if you want to know your take profit, you could just get on your daily time frame, or you could pretty yeah, you could get on your daily or wherever you want. And this is why I did want you guys to know how to draw a fib, because price is gonna continue to break into all-time highs forever. Inshallah. So you just go ahead and find out a good place to draw your fib, see where it lines up, see where it makes sense. I like the resistance right here. So your next take profit would be somewhere up here. And keep in mind, everyone is using fib when all-time highs are getting broken, because nobody knows. So everyone is pretty much going to have this level marked. So you could probably just cut it early and make your next take profit like right here. And that's probably pretty safe, honestly.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I didn't want you guys to be too reliant on fib, but I did want you guys to just use fib for like guidance and stuff like that. So yeah, you know your trade here that you're going to be waiting for here. Just be waiting for the all-time highs breakout, and then or you're gonna be waiting for a breakout of the most recent low. That makes sense. So you can wait for a strong low to go ahead and get breaking, and then you can go ahead and take that too. Um,
Hmm.
so I see price decided to make this double bottom right here. So you can go ahead and set a level right here, and you'll be able to see this from the daily as well too. So you know that when price decides to break from this double bottom, then you should be able to go ahead and get in for a bottom breakout to the next take profit down here as well. And then price might bounce from down here. So that's potential.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm waiting on the daily time frame and
Yeah.
it's taking a minute. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
was sending you that message when I say you said the patience pays off because it's
Yeah.
taking a while to get there.
Yeah. A lot of people here on this ES trade, this is why I haven't even traded since, because there's no reason to. A lot of people here have been getting destroyed trying to chase this breakout. A lot of people don't understand
Right.
how strong of the level this is, especially the people who traded this day, Monday and Tuesday. Like Tuesday shouldn't have been touched at all. Same thing with
Uh-huh.
Wednesday. Same thing with pretty much Thursday. You know, why lose money and literally have bad mental health 4 days in a row trying to trade this? Just get
Yeah.
off. Like, just literally get off. And this is why I'm a big advocate why people should be like going to work or have businesses, because the top tier traders all have businesses. They all go to work. No one just sits here on the charts all day. They set alerts
Right.
and they have things to do, because the point of trading is to pretty much eat up the impatient. Because once again, it's PvP, player versus player. So the people who are patient and are willing to wait, they are the ones who are going to end up profitable, because the people who are impatient, they're the ones who are just going to keep giving the liquidity in order for price to go ahead and fall back just to come back up again and trading this mess. And,
Right.
and like people are trading this genuinely, and they're wondering why they're not
Yeah.
profitable when they don't realize how strong of a level this is. So I'd rather wait a whole week for this level to break instead of lose my mind trying to find a setup in here with no price action where I'm making no money.
Exactly.
And that's really just the epiphany like a lot of people just have to come to. And then when you just start being patient with your setups, and when you do catch it, it's like, wow, I'm very 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 happy with myself, and I'm very happy that I waited for the setup. Same thing on gold over here, for example. I have these setups marked too, that I've been waiting out for, and I'll just go ahead and I redraw it again. Boom. So on gold, I know that this is a very key low right here, all the way down here. Boom, I saw that price decide to bounce up from this key area here. So I know that when price decides to break out from this low, I'm going to be able to easily get in for a trade. Why wouldn't I just wait for this, you know? And
Yeah.
it's very, very, very simple. So if price decided to do this gargantuan bounce, instead of getting chopped up and destroyed and losing my mind in here, I'm just going to wait for price to simply break this and get in until the next take profit. So I see resistance is being created here. Boom. Boom, I see a double bottom being created here. Take profit right here. I'm going to be able to get in for a breakout setup. And that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not much to it. And a lot of people really do make it a lot more complicated than it seems to be. Um and it's really just not that. It's in these indicators really do help. I hope they do help. They really did help me initially, because I'm not too sure about yourself, but I definitely went through a phase where I was turning on the EMAs, trying to use MACD, trying to use VWAP,
Right.
etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, what indicators have you used in the past?
All the ones you just mentioned.
Yeah, for real, like I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, like they're kind of there for like traps, in my opinion. Like I don't know, like I really don't know. Indicators just, once I realized it was candlestick by candlestick, and I believe Al Brooks, the trader there, he really helped me identify that. And you're just gonna be able to go ahead and identify certain things really fast. Like, okay, resistance is being created here, and then support was created here off of these two candles. Boom, boom, boom. This makes sense. Price bounce off of this high, so this is probably the next take profit here that's gonna make sense, because price will probably bounce from here when resistance turns into support. So that's all that happens. So resistance turns into support. That's it. That's all that happens. Resistance turns into support. So price decides to top out, make all-time highs. This is all trading is. Price decides to make all-time highs, go down, find somewhere where it topped out again, and then bounce. And then after it bounces, it's gonna bounce again. It's gonna break this all-time highs and probably bounce from here again one day.
Right.
And just keep doing that over and over and over again. That's all trading is resistance turns into support. And that's 100% it. So yeah, you just continue to just keep playing with the flow. So whether a price decides to break out of all-time highs or price decides to break out of these lows, all you have to do is just boom, measure out your setup here, measure out your take profit, see where your 1 to 3 is. Boom, my 1 to 3 would be about right here. Do the same thing up here. You don't even have to draw fib if you don't really want to. 1 to 3 is not that big, but it's still fantastic money. Go ahead and draw yourself your 1 to 3. Boom. And that's 45 ticks. That's quite a lot on gold. So yeah, and yeah, just go ahead and put your 1 to 3. Boom, 1 to 3. Boom. and just go ahead and just set up just go ahead and get in, go ahead and get on knockouts, boom, 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 get in for the breakouts, and just watch the money spawn. Like that's how it is. That's it. That's all we're doing is waiting for price to make structure, then catch the breakout. That's it. So we're just waiting for a price to bounce, whether support or resistance wise. So in this case, price decided to bounce down. And then in this case, once price came down here, it decided to bounce up. And after we've identified the bounces, if you don't want to catch tops and bottoms, we could play the super save game and just wait for the tops and bottoms to be broken. And that's it.
Right. Okay.
And that's all we're going to go ahead and be doing. And the 4 hour time frame is going to be your best friend. I like the 1 hour, but the daily is pretty much where you're going to be eyeballing certain things. And just understand that resistance turns into support when you're having problems identifying a take profit. So I hope this makes sense. So once price decides to break out from this level here, um, and breaks down, it's going to this take profit because the resistance from right here.
Right.
So this would be the most ideal place because there's 74,000 orders here. So people are most likely going to pull out here. And there's a double bottom right here on the 4 hour too. So that's it. And it's just all about pretty much catching the minor details. Um, and that's why I feel like indicators will put there because it really distracts you from reading the real picture and really seeing what's going on. Um, because you just have to pretty much just really, really, really get in depth in the candlesticks and just identify certain resistance points and identify certain support points. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another example as well. We'll pull up another chart. And then pretty much like when you're by yourself, just do this just all day. Just all day, all day, all day.
Okay.
Like all day long. I can't tell you how long I've studied. Like I've studied many, 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 many hours just grinding, just grinding, grinding, grinding. And you're gonna be able to just go to any chart and be like boom, 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 and you're gonna realize what's a lot better to trade than others. You usually want to trade things that are close to like all time highs already. So it's a lot easier to trade something like Bitcoin that's already close to all time highs versus something like a forex pair like Euro USD that has all this old price action from like decades ago. So it's a
Right.
lot harder to trade this than it is to trade this. This is easy mode. Like it's
Yeah.
just yeah, there's no other like key levels other than the levels that are literally right in front of you. And that's what's so awesome about it. So that's why I do recommend to stay on indices. So let me pull up another chart
Okay.
here. I think I showed you all the indices and gold. But yeah, do you have any questions?
Um, let me think. I think I pretty much got everything answered. I wanted to know how to set up the knockout thing.
Oh,
So I
gotcha.
should
Yeah, I'll show you.
trade on there
Yeah,
instead of doing Ninja Trader.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can set up both and just like kind of see which one you like more. But knockouts is super duper cool. Yeah, like that's awesome. So yeah, did you want to go ahead and do that setup now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll stop the screen share. All right, and that's gonna be the guide there. All right, thank you.